My name is Peter. I'm originally from Argentina. I came to Australia in 1971. I left my country because it was impossible to have a decent life there, and especially I wanted to give my son a decent opportunity for education. I worked 7 days a week for 3 years. I wanted to get a financial base. I was working in Kirrawee and living in Cronulla. I never knew, but it was a posh place. People say, how can you afford Cronulla? Well, because I worked 12 hours a day. My son was lucky because the principal took over under his wing, and after class was teaching him English for 2 hours. So in about 3 months, my boy was learning English and speaking English without any problem. He became my master, my teacher. I was learning every night in Galmia School. Then I went to other classes in Chippendale, funded by the government, right? In the meantime, we divorced with my first wife. She wasn't very happy here. She wanted to go back to Argentina. In 2008, my second wife died of massive cancer. I could not live in the house. Everything would remind me strongly of her. So I decided to sell everything against my family's desire and wishes. I decided to sell everything, and I did. And I went to Vietnam, in Hanoi, to teach English at a university in Taiwan. I was contracted for about 10 years, but after a year and a half, they ran out of money because the American sponsor cut their funds. So I had to stop them. But instead of coming to Australia, I went to live in Philippines for another year and a half, right? I was doing nothing. I was drawing, painting. Yes, that was a very, very good time. When I came back from Philippines in Hanoi, I was renting a room every time. And every 2-3 months, the owner say, I need a room. I have to paint, I have to, so whatever the reason. So in about 6 months, I had to change 4 times. And I was just getting tired of moving from place to place. And I didn't know what to do anymore. But one friend of mine, she said to me, look, I used to work in Wentworth, and you can afford, because the money you are making, you can afford that place. So I went there and I applied. And in about 9 months, they called me for an interview. And in about a week, they approved my residence, and I'm here. With my son, he's sick, very sick. He got lymphoma, which is a cancer, a different type of cancer. He's 59 years old, was working very well. By the way, he is living out in not a housing commission, but it's in a house from Anglicare, Australia. He got a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment in Warrington, close to the station. And now he's living on a very comfortable area and having a good life. Mm-hmm. He's a musician by training. He's a teacher too as well. And gathering with his friends, musician friends, jam sometimes, like jazz, like rock and roll and so on. And he's happy doing that. So now he got his little nest. He's very happy. I call myself an artist because I am, and a teacher. But the majority of the time I went to these cheap rooms, I didn't feel comfortable. That's one of the reasons. But now that I'm here, people, that my colleagues come, visit me, we get meetings too, we visit them in their house, their studio, they come to see my studio. I have students here too, private students, right? So here is very convenient for me. Allowed me to do a lot of things that I could not do it when I was renting just a room. And the room was so small that I could not do anything. I care for the place where I live because it's given me an opportunity to live a decent life. That's the thing. And okay, the price, the rent I pay It's not very cheap, but it's not too expensive. I can afford it. But that's the thing. The living outside is getting too expensive. That is a problem. Even when the money I'm making from teaching, I find it very, very hard to survive here. Yeah. Sometimes I have to juggle a bit with them. The finance to pay one and not pay the other one, and so on. But you see this place, that was my heaven, or is my heaven. Many other people, yes, we know, old people and so on, we're living in harmony here. Not a single problem with any one of them so far. Richard lives next door there. I never heard him. The one here looks like rock and roll, and I never heard rock and roll. I have my classic music. He never heard my classic music. So I live in the base of the apartment because insulation there, and I have my studio on the balcony. I live in the base of the world here. I don't want to lose it.